My name is Marina. I'm a clinical therapist here with Linden Oaks Hospital. Can you kind of tell me what brings you here today?
Well, it is a suggestion from my family and my husband. They believe that I have an addiction to alcohol, so that's why I'm here.
So it seems like they're a little concerned about you, what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess.
So when you say addiction, do you know much about addiction?
I mean, if we're talking about alcohol, I feel like, I don't have a problem. All I know is you're an alcoholic if you drink every day.
Okay.
So
how much, can you tell me about your drinking a little bit? How much would you say you drink?
I mean, I go out on the weekends. I'll get together with my girlfriends. We'll have some dinner. I'll have a couple of drinks. I mean, I don't really count.
So when you say a couple, that's usually two. Would you say you have more than two? Because I know you.
Oh yeah, I'll have 5, 6. I mean, we're sitting there for a couple of hours, so yeah, definitely.
And how often do you do that?
I would say every weekend. Sometimes every Friday and Saturday, depending on our times. But yeah, it's been a lot lately. I guess every weekend. So.
So why do they say you have an addiction? What are some things they kind of say? Because that's a lot of pressure to be here because somebody else wants you to be here.
Yeah.
So it seems like you have to go through some hoops to kind of be here.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was such a big deal. I mean, I'll just have a couple of drinks, so they're just telling me that I'm doing it way too much. And, it's causing some issues in our relationships, especially with my husband, so, I mean, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to figure it out,
So it also seems like, from what you're telling me, that you also care about the relationship with your husband, and that's kind of why you're here.
Oh, yeah, I do, yeah.
So can you tell me about some issues that you feel like that they brought up to you that it's causing problems?
Yeah, well, they seem to think that my drinking causes a lot of problems with myself. I guess I'm different. I guess I'm arguing with them more. They're telling me I'm irresponsible, and that I'm not facing some issues that I'm currently having. So.
What do you think are some of those issues that they feel?
I mean, honestly, it's just, more so my husband. We just kind of are having some communication issues right now. We've been trying to have a baby. I'm having a hard time getting pregnant. So it's causing a lot of pressure in between us, and, it's just, I just don't feel like I'm understood, so. I don't really know.
So you feel like you feel misunderstood by your husband. What are some ways that you think that he's not understanding where you're coming from? Yeah,
I mean, I don't understand why the drinking is such a problem. I mean, I always used to go out with my girlfriends, have a couple of drinks. All of a sudden, it's such an issue. So I just don't understand.
So usually when things like this happen, they don't really come all of a sudden. Can you remember maybe when you started drinking?
I mean,
like those 5 or 6 drinks in one sitting.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say in the last 6 months, it's been more than usual. I mean, me and him used to go out, but just in the last 6 months, it's been this kind of problem, I guess, for us. But yeah, I feel like it's been increasing in the last couple of months.
When you say you feel pressures, what kind of pressures would you say you feel?
I mean, he's just telling me I need to stop. He's telling me that I need to focus on things and stop running away from my problems, and that we need to talk things out. And I just feel like he's just gaining up on me a lot, and I don't feel like there's a problem.
So in your assessment originally, when I read it, it said in there that you're a nurse.
Yeah.
So you kind of help take care of people every day.
Yeah.
Can you tell me maybe, just from the nursing perspective, and you're probably more knowledgeable than me in this, what kind of issues do you think would happen if you're trying to conceive and you're drinking? What are some things that you kind of went through the program and you kind of know this more than me?
Well, obviously alcohol has an impact. A on your hormones. When it comes to me personally, I guess I just kind of like gave up. You know, I'm just kind of letting things happen. I didn't think it was such a big deal. But yeah, definitely it can have an impact on your body. And, you know, the older you are, the harder it is, especially with alcohol. But, you know, I guess I didn't think about it that
So
way.
what do you think about it now as you talk about it?
Well, I guess I might have a little bit of an issue, you know, that's why I'm here. So.
And you know, addiction doesn't have to be that you drink every day. Addiction can also be that binge drinking, right? So binge drinking, are you familiar with it at all?
I mean, not really, I guess. Drinking every single day.
So binge drinking is how much you drink in one sitting. And for women, if you have more than 4 drinks in one sitting, then that's considered binge drinking. And so you have mentioned that you drink, you know, sometimes you don't count, and that's kind of normal, that you have maybe 4 or 5.
If not more, honestly.
And it's also if you have more than 7 drinks in the whole week. So it doesn't have to be that you drink every day, to be kind of, you know, to have that addiction. So when I kind of shared that information with you, what's your take on that?
I guess I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, I guess that's, I mean, yeah, I guess I really didn't think about it that way, honestly.
And so you also mentioned that when you drink, right, that your husband reports that he feels that you're irresponsible. Can you talk a little bit about what he means by that?
Well, he means by, you know, I'm drinking and I'm driving, obviously, and you know, we are trying to get pregnant, so he gives me a lot of that, kind of, he's saying that has an impact on that. I didn't really think it was such a big deal, but mostly the driving and the drinking.
So as a nurse, do you usually have people that come in for maybe accidents with some drinking and driving, anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what do you see?
A lot of trauma. You see a lot of deaths. I just never really put it into personal perspective, I guess, from that standpoint. Like I said, I didn't think it was such a big deal, but now maybe I'm a little responsible.
It's really hard when other people are trying to define your behavior for you, because it seems like that's something that's adding a lot of pressure. Like husband is saying this, maybe mom and dad or some friends are saying that. So that can be really difficult. What's your take on that?
I feel a little misunderstood. You know, there has been a lot of pressure on me. I just feel, you know, with things kind of, mostly with my husband, you know, I just feel like, you know, I can't talk to him anymore, and he's always gaining up on me. I just kind of like gave up in a sense of trying to, you know, say things, because he's constantly saying that, you know, stop doing that and do this and do that. So it's kind of.
What kind of suggestions has he given?
Well, therapy. He said I need to go to therapy and figure out why am I drinking.
Okay, well here you are. That's
here
one
I
step.
am. Yeah.
What are some other things?
He thinks I need to take more responsibility and then kind of like focus on myself and face what I'm dealing with right now.
And so what are some things that you're dealing with? Because you talk about that a lot, but nothing specifically besides trying to have a family, a baby.
Yeah, I mean, that's really created a lot of pressure for me. I just feel like it's, you know, it's something I'm dealing with, and, you know, I feel like there's something wrong with me because I can't have a baby. But, you know, I just don't want to really focus on that. It's been hard for me.
Sometimes people use drinking as kind of like an avoidance, because they don't want to, an escape more so, that they don't want to like face certain things because they're hard. Would you say that's something that relates to you? Because from what you're saying,
I guess in a way it does. It's, you know, the reason I do go and see my friends is like so we can talk it out, and you know I'm feeling all these things. I'm trying to I avoid going home, so we talk it out, but doesn't really fix the issue, I guess. Yeah.
So what do you think are some benefits of your drinking? What are some good things?
I mean, I relax, and I guess I run away from feeling this anxiety and this pressure. So, I have a couple of drinks, relax a little bit, hang out with my friends, take my focus off of things. So that definitely helps me. I mean, I just didn't think it was such a huge problem.
So you say that, a good thing that comes out of it is that you get to avoid things and to escape things. What do you think about that statement?
I guess
that's a good thing, you said, right?
Yeah. I guess I'm running away from kind of having to deal with what I need to deal with.
Because there's a lot of pressure from
There's a lot of pressure, yeah.
And that seems like that's really difficult for you.
It is. And I'm already hard on myself as it is, about certain things. And then when I get this additional pressure, it's, I feel like I'm incapable, or if I don't, it's not like I do feel guilty, and I know there's things that I need to do, but it's just like I can't, and then work is hard, there are a lot of things that are going on, and, it just helps me unwind. Yeah.
What would you say are some like not so good things about drinking?
Well, definitely the drinking and the driving. I do see a lot of, kind of casualties and things at work, but also just, the hangovers. The hangovers, and just, it takes me a couple of days to recuperate and then and feel good. I mean, I guess it takes some time, but then I feel fine, but then I go back.
Starts over again.
Yeah, then I go back and do it again.
So you mentioned that some good things are that you get to relax and you get to kind of have a good time.
Yeah.
Is there other ways that you feel like you can do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened. I guess just in the last 6 months, I kind of lost focus on myself. But, I used to do yoga and I used to meditate, but, I just don't really have the time, nor I have the energy, because I guess I'm hungover most of the time. But those are the things that used to help me in the past, I guess.
So usually with addiction, and so a lot of people say I like to wind down after work, and so I would have a glass or two, but who's counting, right?
Yeah.
With addiction, because it is a disease, right? That dopamine level, right? When you even just think about having that drink, your dopamine levels kind of play into that. That's your reward system, and that's maybe why sometimes you feel like, oh, I can't wait to kind of go home.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's kind of like I can't wait for the weekend.
Yeah.
Just to kind of relax, unwind, and okay.
So you also mentioned that you kind of talk things through with your friends, and so that's also important, because friends, you kind of have to have an outlet to talk.
Yeah,
about.
they're kind of, just can't, it's too much, my family, my husband, it's just, I guess, when I see them, I just kind of, I'll need to have a drink in order to even start talking about things, but I guess I feel better in the moment.
What kind of suggestions do they give that you feel like it helps you?
I mean, not really. We're not, they're kind of living different lives than I am. They're single mostly. So they just kind of listen and kind of laugh it out with me and just kind of like toast with me, I guess, in a way. It just helps to kind of like talk about it.
What are some other people that you can talk to? Is there anyone else that you feel like you can talk to?
Yeah, my best friend. But she also, has kind of been telling me the same thing like my husband has, to kind of go and get some help, get some therapy.
So it seems like there's a lot of people that care about you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I care about them too.
Well, I feel like you wouldn't be here if you didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you hope that you get out of treatment by being here?
I mean, I guess just now I realize that I do have a problem.
Okay.
And I would like to fix that problem.
Mm-hmm.
And figure out how I can replace drinking with something else. Maybe, deal with the issues that I have in a different way.
So with addiction, there's also a lot of stigma, right? When you have to identify yourself as an addict or as an alcoholic.
It just sounds bad. Like I would never say that about myself.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have to, right? Because you're not your addiction. So you can identify as, this is something that I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with addiction, or this is something that I have. I like to tell clients that, it's kind of like a bag that you carry every day. And some days it's a little bit heavier, and some days it's a little bit lighter. So you don't really necessarily have to say, and you even said it yourself, I could never do that. That just sounds so bad.
Yeah.
What about even saying that? Or like, kind of, what's your perspective on addiction?
I mean, I never thought about it. I don't like judging other people, for it. I guess I always just thought about it like, hey, if you're drinking every single day and you're causing all these issues, which I apparently have, then you're an addict or you're an alcoholic. And this kind of sounds bad. So I think I just kind of didn't want to admit that to myself because I didn't want to be that.
Mm-hmm. Be what?
An addict.
Okay. So if you were to make some changes, right? So therapy is kind of here to kind of help you grow and to help process what you're going through. If you were to make some changes, let's say like on a scale of 0 to I don't want to do it at all, to a 10, like I really want to make these changes, where do you think you would fall into? How would you grade that change for yourself?
7 or an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
So tell me why 7 or an 8 and maybe not like a 4 or a 5.
Because I do want to, make things better for myself and, my marriage and I feel like if I say 4 or 5, then I'm not really, then I don't care, but I do care, and I do want to make a change. So I guess that's why.
Okay. And why not like a 9 or a 10? Why not like a 10?
I feel like I don't need to say 10 because I'll do it. I do care enough.
What do you mean by that?
I mean,
help me understand.
I want to change. I want to do something different. I guess I just need a little bit more help to get to that 10 in a sense.
Would you say that it's hard for you to seek help?
Yes.
Is that hard?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I feel like there's something wrong with me. I feel like I'm like I said, incapable. And I can do things on my own. I can deal with things on my own. So it's hard for me to even, think that I need like some outside help. I guess. I think I do.
Okay. And so I think maybe that's what your family was referring to. It's kind of like maybe you should go talk to someone just to kind of figure it out. And just because you're here doesn't mean you're broken. Yeah. And I can't fix you because you're not broken. So what do you think are some things that when you leave from here today, what do you think are some things that maybe you want to change? Like let's say you leave today, you go home.
Yeah.
What are some things that you feel like you could change?
I think I want to go give a big hug to my husband and tell him that I'm sorry. And maybe have an open conversation with him and kind of figure out where to go from here. And I feel like, I've been very distant with him because I just thought he was criticizing me, but he's just trying to help me out.
What kind of things would you say to him besides saying, I'm sorry, maybe you were right?
Yeah.
And not that he was right about, criticizing and blaming, because that's not going to help you. But just maybe about being here.
Yeah. I think I would just thank him for telling me and pushing me to go, as much as I didn't want to admit things to myself. I just think that's kind of like the first step think that's going to create a better relationship with us. And then I think I can do things, maybe kind of go out a little less and, you know, spend more time focusing on our relationship and you know, this thing we're trying to do.
What are some other things you can do to unwind or to relax? What do you like to do? Like, what are some hobbies that you...
I like writing. I like walks. I like going out for walks. I haven't done that in a while, actually. I really haven't. I like to write things. I always like, you know, when I have some issue or something, I'll just like write things out. But I really have not done that in the last couple of months, honestly. And I feel like that helps me a lot, along with exercise and meditation.
And exercise and physical activity helps with those endorphins.
Yeah.
And that kind of helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So a great thing that we have in the program is what's called family night, right? And so what happens is we try to bring either family or significant others in group, so we can kind of help them also develop some language, right? Some kind of assertive communication and reflective listening, so that they can kind of guide you in maybe, you know, I don't want to be criticized, because nobody does.
Yeah.
It seems like for you that creates a lot of pressure from what you're saying.
Yeah.
So would you be interested, maybe, you know, if we contacted your husband, and how willing is he to be part of your treatment? Because he's an important person in your life, it seems.
I'm pretty sure he would agree to it. I mean, he's the one that mostly wanted me to kind of come here and talk things out and figure out, I guess, what I'm doing. So yeah, definitely would be open to that. Why not? Maybe he can understand that, you know, it doesn't help that you're...
No, it never does.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it's not just addiction, it's anything in general. Like, think about, you know, when you do something well, everybody likes receiving a compliment or anything that sort. But when people kind of say, you know, you shouldn't be doing this, maybe you should do this, maybe deep down somewhere you know that.
Yeah.
But it's really hard because of all the pressure and plus all the other problems.
Yeah, and things just haven't been working out, and, you know, I just haven't been able to kind of come face to face with these things. And, you know, I think I kind of found, you know, my runaway place, and, you know, a couple of glasses of wine, you know, I guess those 5 or 6 are not recommended. So
right.
Yeah.
And for women especially, right? For women, and I think you know this as in your profession, for women it takes it's quicker to kind of feel the buzz or to get drunk than men. And so the binge drinking for men is like 5 or 6, and for women, for us, it's 4 drinks or more in one sitting. So maybe just kind of keep that in mind next time.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe we can talk about bringing husband in even for a family session to kind of help you with that, because it seems like the pressure is just a lot for you.